Mike, give me the mic.
Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages. If you follow basketball, you know Chilton Hoops.
So this is really good right here. In effect, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls all around the world, what's happening tonight? Y'all know what time it is when y'all see me. I am in effect. What's going on, man? The in-season tournament has given us a lot, and I love it. I would be lying if I said I didn't, but I love it. I was originally on the fence about it. I didn't feel it. I did not. And then I saw just how well this thing was really going. And if I'm being honest with you, it's 100% grown on me. It has. And I can't deny it anymore. So I have to ask myself, what comes of this? Because if we're in a space where, right, if we're in a space, and Noman, you are the biggest front-running Warrior fan that there is. You are the biggest troll on the internet. There are a bunch of trolls on the internet, and you one of the biggest ones because it was crickets from you when your boys had lost 5 straight. I didn't see you. I didn't hear a word out of you. Now all of a sudden, your boys win a game or two, and now you back in effect. You are the biggest front runner on the internet. I can't stand guys like you. I'm not saying I don't like guys like you. I can't stand guys like you. Guys like you make me physically ill. And I mean that with every fiber of my being. Guys like you are the biggest front runners that there are. You make me physically ill, sir. You do. And I try to block you, but you just keep coming back. You make me sick. I swear, on everything that I am, you make me sick. But as I was saying, the in-season tournament, right? The in-season tournament has shown me that these guys will compete if you put some incentive on the table. And I mean, there has been some incentive on the table, making an extra 500 grand. I can definitely appreciate that. But with that, I feel like the action has just gotten a lot better. I feel like the action has gotten a lot better. I feel like the competition is so much better. And I'm just enjoying what this is. I just am. I'm enjoying. I'm 100% enjoying what this is. I think it's fantastic. I do. So with that, right? So with that being said, I had an interesting conversation not too long ago, and the conversation dealt a lot with the Oklahoma City Thunder and how serious are they? Well, they got the second best offensive rating in NBA history. Number 2 is behind the 95-96 NBA champion Chicago Bulls. Of the top 10 net ratings in NBA history, only two teams in the top 10 did not win the NBA championship. That's the 15-16 Warriors and the 15-16 San Antonio Spurs. No, I'm talking about net rating. They got a net rating of 12. So only 2 of those teams did not win the NBA championship. So with that being said, what does this mean for the Oklahoma City Thunder? Are they championship contenders? I personally think that they're still a year away, even if they had Chet in the lineup. But that's a damn good team. I watched them yesterday. And man, let me tell you, this is a team that flies around on defense. This is a team that not only do they fly around on defense, this is a team that's organized. It's organized chaos with them, and they're a smart defensive team. They don't foul very much, and when they do foul, they make you go to the stripe and earn it, right? They make you go to the stripe and earn it. With them making you go to the stripe and earn it, I think they put a lot of pressure on your offense to reconsider the stuff that you're doing. Why? Because they're so good at rotating. Now, I had a conversation earlier, and I'm having a real difficult time with this. But before I get to that, I want to make clear that on no level do I look at Oklahoma City as a pretending team. No, I don't think that they're a fraud on any level. I just think they're a year away. That's not a fraud on any level. That's a damn good team. Defensively and offensively. That's a damn good team. So, with that being said, right? With that being said, what is it going to take to win the NBA championship? Well, I've seen over the years that we match up very well with you with this, and this. And in the end, what does it come down to? It's either my best player is better than your best player, or we have this and you don't. But more times than not, it comes down to we have this and you don't have it. When the Lakers won the NBA championship, we got Shaq and you don't. When the San Antonio Spurs won the NBA champ, we got Tim Duncan, you don't. That's the difference. When the Detroit Pistons, which was an exception when they won the NBA championship, we got the best defense in arguably in NBA history. You don't. These are the separators, right? These are the separators when it comes to winning and losing. That's, don't get me wrong. I do think that you need some luck on your side. But when I think about what's been going on with the Oklahoma City Thunder and how they dissect defenses, how Shai doesn't take bad shots. He very rarely takes bad shots. He's got this pull-up three in his game now that makes him even more lethal. That makes him even more lethal than he already was. He's got this pull-up three in his game, whether it's in transition or it's in the half court. He's got this long ball that's in his game that makes him even more lethal than he already was. His ability to defend within the scheme that they run, because he's a competent defender, makes him even better. I'm not in the minority, but I think Jason Tatum is better than him. But what he does for this team and how he affects winning, right? How he affects winning on this team. No, I'm not watching the Hawks game. Not yet. I'm not. I will watch the Hawks game when I'm done here. What he does to affect winning, I don't think that there's a lot of guys that are doing that. I don't. You can put somebody else on Oklahoma City, and I'm not sure that their defense will be that good. I'm not sure if their offense would be that good. I'm not sure if their transition game would be that good, if the energy would be that good. All of this stuff matters, right? All of this stuff matters when it comes to being a great player. Not only does all of this stuff matter when it comes to being a great player, all of this stuff matters when we're talking about the league MVP. And I feel like with Jason Tatum, I feel like he affects winning a little bit more than what Jason does, off the strength that Jason is on a better team, and Jason is on a team that's more talented. Jason is on a team that's more talented, and because he's on a team that's more talented, the stuff that he does kind of gets overlooked. So, his ability to play make when he gets to the rim and he's got two guys on him or he's got three guys on him and he's throwing the ball behind his back to the long ball line to Al Horford. When he's getting to the rim and scoring at the basket. I mean, I seen the numbers. 0 to 3 feet, he's at 85%. That's what he's scoring, 0 to 3 feet. He's at 84.7. That's 85%. 85. So I still think that he goes to the rim to get fouled. I don't think he goes to the rim to score more than he goes to get fouled. But I feel like that crew that he's on, a lot of the stuff that he does just gets overlooked. Meanwhile, SGA in Oklahoma City, because they don't have their best defender, they still rolling. They're still rolling. And they're still winning. And they're still winning primarily off how good their defense is. They just are. And I have a debate that's going on in my chat right now with Green, who's a Clippers fan. I don't even know how old Green is, to be honest with you. I think he's a kid. and I'm not really sure. But so since you want this, since you want this, Green, your idea that Shai is better at everything than Jason Tatum, you can't prove that. You can't. You cannot categorically prove that he is better than him at everything. You can't prove that. Because if you can prove that, I will concede to you that SGA is better than Jason Tatum at everything. If you can prove that, without a shadow of a doubt, I will concede to you. I will take my glasses off. I will concede to you that he is better than him at everything. But you can't prove that. You can't. So, with that being said, I feel like Shai affects winning a little bit more because I feel like that Oklahoma City team relies on him a little bit more in other ways than that Boston Celtic team relies on Jason Tatum. And as good as Jason Tatum is, and the fact that he's there, I think he's only missed 2 games. They've played 24 games, I think, so far, and he's only missed 2 games. And one of the games he sat out, not because he was hurt. I mean, they said it was a sore knee. That's basically giving him the night off. That's essentially what it was. Because if it was the playoffs, he would have played. I'm certain of that. He would have played. So with that, right? With that being said, he is available. SGA is available. But I feel like he affects winning right now. Now, we can have this conversation again in 2 months when we get into the dog days of the season, when things are going to get dicey, when the redundance of the season starts. Now, when that is, that's late December, early January, and that's up until the All-Star break, right? That's late January. Not late January. I'm sorry. That's late December and early January. And I want you guys to read this. Tatum is a worse shooter from every part of the floor. Shai clears him at the rim, which isn't true, but better at getting fouls, which also isn't true. Better in the passing lanes, which also isn't true. Better playmaker, which actually is categorically a lie. That is factually untrue that he is a better playmaker than Jason Tatum. Because if you watch Jason Tatum as a passer, how he gets everybody involved in the game, how he gets other people involved in the game, how he gets himself involved in the game, I just read a stat to you that he's finishing at almost 85% at the rim. Shai isn't doing that. Shai is not doing that. So you can't prove that. You can't. You cannot prove that. Go work on your debate skills, sir. You have to have a stance. And your stance, when you say something, your stance can easily be attacked when you don't have facts to back it up. It's easy. It is easy to do that. And then you turn around and say stuff like, watch the games. Like, that's not what I do for a living. Like, that's not what I do for a living. This is exactly what I do. I don't know if you noticed, but that's my job, to watch games and understand the game. But again, you, sir, your stance, you came out all the way wrong in your stance, which was he does everything better than Jason Tatum. You were wrong right there, right from the beginning. That can easily be attacked because that's just not true. He's not better than Jason Tatum at everything. That's not true. And you can't prove that. So with that being said, I'm not going to make you part of the show, because the reason why I'm not going to do that is because it's necessary for me to keep the theme going and what we're talking about with being the league MVP. And I have a difficult time with Joker being at the top of the leaderboard in league MVP. Well, if they got the same record and the Denver Nuggets are the 7th seed and the Milwaukee Bucks are the 3rd seed, or the Boston Celtics are the 2nd seed, then could you give it to them? No. Well, first of all, I don't think they're going to have the same record, because if the Celtics, who I think are going to win 60-plus games, I think they're going to win anywhere between 65 to 70 games. If they're going to win anywhere between 65 and 70 games, the Denver Nuggets aren't going to do that. They're not. The Milwaukee Bucks, I don't think, are going to do that. So because of that, and I think that the Oklahoma City Thunder are going to win 60-plus games this year, Denver isn't going to do that. Even if the Denver Nuggets are separated by 3 or 4 games and they end up in the 6th or the 7th spot, they're still separated. Meanwhile, the Boston Celtics, who in all intents purposes are in a quote unquote weaker conference, you still have to play a third of your games against the Western Conference. Still, you still have to play a third of your games against the Western Conference. So because you still have to play a third of your games against the Western Conference, we still play everybody. And we have to see how you fare against them. I'm not giving the league MVP to a guy whose team is in 7th place. You do not affect winning more than that guy whose team is in 3rd place, or that guy whose team is in 2nd place, or that guy whose team is in 1st place. You do not affect winning more. No, you do not. And if you're going to give the league MVP to a guy whose team is in 7th place, then we got to change the award to most outstanding player, because most valuable player means most valuable player to your team's success. And winning is a part of that. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, as of today, affects winning more than I think Jason Tatum does today. More than Giannis does today. That doesn't mean that those guys aren't awesome, because I think that this is I think this is going to change. I 100% believe that this is going to change. But I think that Shai, as of today, affects winning more than Jason Tatum. I still think that Jason Tatum is a better player than him. And I think where the divide comes in is when the best player wins the league MVP. So, for example, Joker won the league MVP last year. Joker's the best player in the league. I think Joker is the best player in the league. And because Joker is the best player in the league, that's what's been attached to the league MVP. Now, the flip side to that is the league MVP hasn't been the best player in the league for a long time. Joel Embiid was not the best player in the league in 23. I don't think Joker was the best player in the league in 22. He was not the best player in the league in 21. Was Giannis the best player in the league in 20? I don't think so. Was Giannis the best player in the league in 19? I don't think so. Was James Harden the best player in the league in 18? No. How about in 17? Was Russell Westbrook the best player in the league? No, I don't think so. Was Curry the best player in the league in 16? I mean, James shut the door on that. How about in 15? Was Curry the best player in the league? I mean, I think that's where the conversation started to get louder, but no, he still wasn't. I think you can make the argument that KD was the best player in the league in 14. I still think it was James, but sure, I think you can make the argument. In 13, I think James was the best player in the league, and I think it was a gap. I 100% think it was a gap. In 12, James was the best player in the league, and I think it was a gap. In 11, I don't think Derrick Rose was the best player in the league. Derrick Rose, just like Joker, which was 10 years apart. If you ask the question, was Derrick Rose a top 5 player the year he won the league MVP? And I'll run down some names for you. James, KD, Bryant, Wade, Dwight Howard, Dirk Nowitzki. That's 6 guys. Where does Derrick Rose fall in that category? Of those 6 guys, I'm going to run it down to you one more time. Bryant, James, Wade, Dirk, KD, Dwight Howard. Where does Derrick Rose fall within that criteria? That's the question. Well, then fast forward to 2021 when Joker won the league MVP. And I'm going to run down some names for you. When Joker won the league MVP in 21, James, Giannis, Curry, Leonard, Harden, KD. Did I say KD? I don't think I said KD. I'll run it down for you one more time. James, Curry, Harden, Giannis, KD, Leonard. Those are those 6 names. Where does Joker fall in? Where does Joker fall in that category? So I digress. When I'm talking about the league MVP, I'm talking about who is the guy who is the most valuable to his team's success. And sometimes it's the best player in the league. In 2010, LeBron James won the league MVP. I thought Bryant was the best player in the game. In 2009, James won the league MVP. I thought he was the best player in the game, but it was still Bryant. In 2008, Bryant won the league MVP. I thought Bryant was the best player in the game. In 2007, Dirk Nowitzki won the league MVP. I think there's a legit argument Dirk was the best player in the game. In 2006, Steve Nash won the league MVP. I do not think Steve Nash was the best player in the NBA in 2006. I think it was still Tim Duncan. In 2005, it was who won the league MVP in 2005? Steve Nash. I think Tim Duncan was the best player in the NBA. 2004, Kevin Garnett won the league MVP. I think it was Tim Duncan. I think he was the best player in the game in 2004. In 2003, Tim Duncan won the league MVP. I think he was the best player in the game. It was between him and Shaq at that point. But I think it was Duncan. In 2002, Duncan had won the league MVP. I thought Shaq was the best player in the game at that time. 2001, Allen Iverson wins the league MVP. I thought it was Shaq. In 2000, Shaq wins the league MVP. I thought Shaq was the best player. So since 2000, right? Since 2000, we're talking almost 25 years. I only count 3 players who won league MVP that were the best players in the game. That's Shaq, Bryant, James. I'm sorry, 4, and Joker in 25 years. In 1999, Karl Malone won the league MVP. I think you can make the argument Malone was the best player in the game. In 98, Jordan won the league MVP. I think Jordan was the best player in the game. In 97, Malone won the league MVP. I think Jordan was the best player in the game. In fact, I think they got those years wrong. I think Jordan should have won it in 97. Malone should have won it in 98. But ultimately, I think that those two guys, Malone and Jordan, were the best players in the game, and Jordan was the best player in the game. In 96, Jordan was the best player in the game. In 95, when David Robinson won the league MVP, Olajuwon was the best player in the game. In 94, it was Olajuwon. In 93, Charles Barkley won the league MVP. I think Jordan was the best player in the game. In 92, it was Jordan. In 91, it was Jordan. Even though Magic was still considered the best player up until that point. Magic was still considered the best player up until that point. So, right? So, since 1990, we're talking almost 35 years. Jordan, Shaq, Duncan, Bryant, James, Joker. 6 players in the last 35 years. So, in my estimation, that means once every 6 years, the best player in the league wins. In the last 35 years, the best player in the league wins it once every 6 years. Once every 6 years, the best player in the game wins it in the last 35 years. So if Shai Gilgeous-Alexander would have won the league MVP this year, because I do think that he affects winning a little bit more than Jason Tatum does. Off the strength that Jason Tatum, I feel like he's got a more talented team. I'm not going to tax him for that because I still think he's a better player than SGA. Right? I still think he's a better player than SGA. But I think that SGA affects winning. Now, here's the divide that I'm having. And I think this is really interesting. Because I'm thinking to myself, what exactly is the league MVP? The league MVP entails winning, right? Winning matters when you win the league MVP. So this Oklahoma City Thunder team has arguably the best defense that the NBA has ever seen. Like watching them last night fly around, watching them communicate. This is a very smart basketball team defensively. Very smart. How they shoot gaps, how they rotate. This is a very smart basketball team. So, with that being said, if this team is still, how long has Chet been out of the lineup? We're in December. Today's December the 11th. Chet's been out of the lineup, I'm going to guess, I think he went out in game 5. So he's been out at least a month. Is that fair? I think Chet's been out at least a month. So with Chet being out at least a month, Oklahoma City still has the best defense in the league. So with that being said, right? With that being said, if they still have the best defense in the league with their best defensive player on the sideline, is Chet the defensive player of the year? Had he been in the lineup? Because you can't sell me, right? You can't, what you can't do is you can't sell me that when you added the lineup, we don't miss a beat defensively. We still rolling. That's the same logic with the league MVP. That's why right? That's why Joel Embiid didn't win it in 22. Because he had missed 10 games. Philly had won. I think Philly was in those 10 games. They were 7-3 with him out the lineup. We still rolling with you out the lineup. So with us rolling with you out of the lineup, how is it possible that you are the defensive player of the year when we still rolling and we still winning without you? How is that possible? Because I feel like that's the same as the league MVP. You can't be the league MVP and your team is rolling without you. Still. They still rolling without you. And I feel the same way about the defensive player of the year. So this Oklahoma City Thunder team, one of the main reasons why they're at the top of the league, because they got the best defense in the league. And with them having the best defense in the league, it creates a lot of their offense. Like I said, watching them yesterday, watching them shoot gaps, that speeds up their game. That makes them play faster. And for those of y'all who aren't on the same page, I'm confident that playing defense, if you're a defender, you're a playmaker. There's no way you cannot be elite on defense and you're not a playmaker. Whether you're in the passing lane getting steals, whether you're on the block, poking the ball away from the big guy or whomever is trying to post you up, getting block shots, deflections. This stuff all entails playmaking. All of it does. Because what it does is it speeds up what you guys are trying to do on offense. So if Shai Gilgeous-Alexander gets in the passing lane and gets a steal, okay, now that's creating offense for us. So now Wiggins is running. J-Dub is running. And now I can create offense for him as a playmaker on defense. That stuff matters. So with that being said, OKC, I feel like what they're doing just defensively, I just feel like it's unmatched. I do. I feel like it's unmatched, and I like what they're doing right now. I really like this team. Even with Chet on the crew, if he was on the crew this year, I still think that they're a year away from really challenging for the NBA championship. I don't think they're there yet, but they're close, man. This team is close. They are not far away. They are not far away. So what I'm concerned with is, and I had this conversation earlier with the fellas where the question was asked, where is Shai as a player today in conjunction with guys like Steph Curry, in conjunction with guys like Kobe Bryant? And I don't subscribe to the ideology that, you know, when you're at your best for one, like the best version of you, if that's better for 1 year than the best version of this guy, then you better than him. No, I don't subscribe to that, because I think that's the same logic as Buster Douglas getting in the ring with Mike Tyson and dropping him. That was the best version of Buster Douglas. What you did in that 1 year and being as awesome as you are, can you sustain that? I care about longevity. I care about doing something awesome for a long time. I care about that. I'm not one of these people who I just subscribe to what's going on right now. How long you been doing this? How long has this been going on with you? Because when I think about guys, when I think about guys like Jason Tatum, for example, Jason Tatum did not just arrive on the scene. He's been an All-Pro. We're going on what, 5 years now? He's been an All-Pro, and this season he's going to be a first-team All-Pro for the fourth straight year. For the fourth straight year, he's going to be a first-team All-Pro, which is a big deal. So that matters to me. Now, I do have an issue with when you show up on the scene and you are awesome, right? When you show up on the scene and you are awesome, I feel like guys jump the line, right? I feel like they all jump the line. And are you guys still dealing with this dude right here? Are we doing this? I'm asking a simple question from you guys. Are we doing this? Because if we're doing this, I'm down to do it. This right here, Tatum has always had super teams. That's the difference. Are we doing that? Because if we're doing that, if we're doing that, Green, what I can. It's so easy to poke holes in your logic because your stance is so generic. He's had super teams. His teams have been built through the draft. They got Jaylen Brown in the draft. They got Marcus Smart in the draft. They got Robert Williams in the draft. They got Jason Tatum in the draft. They got Peyton Pritchard in the draft. And then they made some trades, sure. But for the most part, Pritchard, draft. Tatum, draft. Jaylen Brown, draft. So and then I can flip that around to SGA. They got him in a trade. But I'm willing to concede that that's almost the same thing. And the reason why I'm saying that is because they basically got him after his rook season. He was in year 2 when he went to Oklahoma City. J-Dub in the draft. Lou Dort in the draft. Chet in the draft. Wiggins in the draft. Isaiah Joe in the draft. The majority of the time that SGA has been on his Oklahoma City team, that team that was put together from the draft. The majority of the time that Jason Tatum was on this crew that was winning before last season was in the draft. So if you're going to say that about, if you're going to say that about Jason Tatum and the Boston Celtics, don't you have to say that about the Oklahoma City Thunder? You have to. See, Green? See how easy it is to poke holes in your generic logic? See how easy it is to do that? Just so you know, with Kyrie Irving in 2018, when they were in the Eastern Conference Championship, Kyrie Irving didn't play the last 16 games of the season, nor did he play the entire playoffs. They still went to the East Finals. They still did that. See how easy it is to poke holes in your bullshit logic? When they ended up getting Kyrie Irving, he had the worst shooting performance of his career in 2019. And they got bounced in round 2. See how easy it is to poke holes in your logic? That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense, Green. In the future, this is what I'm asking you, Green. This is what I'm asking you. In the future, as a debater, you have to get a stance where facts are supported by that stance. You can't just say other people's logic, because what's going to happen is you're going to have to defend other people's logic. And when you can't, you find yourself in a pickle, like right now. So in the future, do yourself a favor. When you get a stance, defend that stance with logic. You can't defend it with other people's ideas. You can't, because what's going to happen is you're going to get attacked. right? You're going to get attacked defending somebody else's logic, and now you're going to have to defend that with your own words, and you can't. You can't do it. You can't. Like this is what you just said to me. You just said to me, you're taxing Shai for not having longevity, but as soon as he gets help, he's been better than Tatum. That's not true. That is not true. That is not true at all. That can't be true. That can't be further from the truth. But again, that's logic that somebody else has come up with, and you can't support that. You can't. This is interesting right here. Of all of you guys that have ever listened to me, have you ever heard me say this? Have any of you guys ever heard me say this? If you've heard me say this, be honest. Have you ever heard me say this? Ever? And I want you guys to be honest with me. Have you guys ever heard me say this right here? Ever heard me say Jason Tatum is better than Jokic? Ever? Since you guys have been listening to me, and since you guys have been around me, have you ever heard me say, whenever I'm talking about the better players in the game, have you ever heard me say Jason Tatum is better than Joker? Have you ever heard me say that? So with that being said, TK Marshall, you got to go. You have to go, sir. You can't stay here. You have to leave. You cannot stay here. No, you can't. You got to go. Goodbye. No. So I'm of the belief that the MVP may need to be changed at some point. Because if we're talking about giving the league MVP, to a guy whose team is in 7th place, then you're taking winning out of the equation. You are. You're taking winning out of the equation. And because you're taking winning out of the equation, then we have to turn the MVP into the most outstanding player in the game. We have to. And it can't just be it can't just be the most valuable player, because winning matters when you're talking about the most valuable player. It 100% does. So if we're not gonna value winning, and the idea that, you know, the third seed, the third seed has the same record as the 7th seed. Is that true? I'd love to hear the logic on that, because when I look back, right, when I look back on, for example, last season, I mean, if I'm being honest, Joker won the league MVP because his team was tied, with the Oklahoma City Thunder for first place. They had won 57 games. And the Milwaukee Bucks had the same record as the 3 seed, as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, as the 7 seed New Orleans Pelicans. They had the same record. Giannis was not in the conversation for league MVP last year, even though Giannis had a fantastic season. He had a fantastic season last year. Jalen Brunson finished 4th in league MVP votes last year, and the Knicks had the number 2 seed ahead of Luka, and they had the same record. They had the same record. So I care about where the seedings are, whether you're in a weaker conference or not. That doesn't really bother me. It really doesn't, because you still got a third of your games still have to be played against the Western Conference. So I don't bother with that too much. I really don't. So hang on for 1 second, guys. I got a call on line 1. What up?
Hey, what up, Chill? How we doing?
What
How
up?
we doing? My audio all good? We all good
Yup,
right
you
here?
hot. Yup.
I wanna really chat to you real quick, Chill, because we had this conversation in July, August about the OKC Thunder. I came in and I said, this is gonna be one of the best defenses we've ever seen in the modern NBA, and everyone's gonna be playing for second in the Western Conference. I know that sounded crazy at the time, but we are what 20, 25 games in now. The
Almost a
OKC
third
are
of the
two and a
season is
half
gone.
games clear of everyone else in the Western Conference. And by defensive rating, only the 65 Celtics are probably the only team with a better defensive rating than the OKC Thunder in the last 40, 50 years.
That's not true.
This team is
I'm not.
incredible.
I think the Detroit Pistons in 2004 had a 93 defensive rating. If I'm not
I need to
mistaken.
see the numbers in terms of
Yeah.
net rating, defensive rating, offensive rating, because that Mavericks game might have changed the numbers. But from what I remember from when I saw it, it's them and the Celtics right now, the 65 Celtics in terms of the best defensive ratings in NBA history. We are watching a historic defense, Chill. And the crazy part about when you're watching the Thunder
Yeah.
is how they have no weaknesses on defense, which is crazy because I think their best defender is not playing, right?
Right.
And the way they were able to blitz Luka in that Mavericks game,
Yeah.
but not have to face and worry about Luka's passing because they were able to give weak side help with very good defenders.
Were really good. Rotations were really
Rotations
good.
were so good, and they're so intelligent with how they attack as well at the
Yes.
point of attack, Chill. The way they create and generate turnovers, I believe you said it really well in terms of their defense. It creates opportunities for their offense because of the way they turn the ball over.
Mhm.
I think the way they attack as well, it's so chaotic. They attack the point of attack so well. And I think point of attack defense gets underrated by a lot of NBA fans. Right?
Yep.
Everyone looks at protecting the rim, blocking the rim, but stopping people at the point of attack is so important as well. It's one of the reasons why the Lakers struggle so much despite having AD.
Yep.
And I think
It depends on
Thunder
also too. It depends on also too who your point of attack defender is and who you're blitzing with. Like just because we have guards, we can't just blitz
Right.
with any guard. Like I can't blitz with Trae Young. I can't just blitz with Trae Young.
I
off
would
the strip
argue you
with Trae
can
too
blitz
small.
Luka.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, so if we playing against Dallas, I can't blitz Luka with Trae Young off the strength that one, Trae Young is small. So I can just throw the ball right over whatever side Trae Young is on. I can just throw the ball right over the top of him. He doesn't deter my vision at all. I got to blitz with bigger guys like DeAndre Hunter and Dyson Daniels. I got to blitz with bigger guys like that to distort Luka's vision. I got to do stuff like that. Now, as far as them being able to communicate on defense and shoot gaps, there's not a lot of teams in the league doing that. There's not.
For sure.
And I feel like this. I feel like the Celtics are competent in areas like that. I feel like as good as Oklahoma City is at shooting gaps, I feel like the Celtics are even better at switching because they got multiple players who can play multiple positions. And
their wing defenders are better.
I think so. And I think that that's where the separator is for me.
I would agree, but I'd also argue that they have a better front court. OKC fully healthy because I just really like Chet's game a lot more, and I think when he was healthy, he was showing me something even better than what I thought he would be. And I thought he was if he was going to be healthy, he could be in that All-Star conversation. We have to see how he looks now after coming back from that injury and see if he can still continue that production, which is the only thing for me keeping them out of the finals talk. Right, I need to see how he looks in that lineup before I'm all the way in terms of OKC. I'm very high on this team like I was in the summer. I'm just needing to see how everything integrates. Hardenstein has been a massive, massive need to improvement on this team, by the way. That signing has been massive for the OKC because the way this guy rebounds, the way this guy creates space for Shai, the way he just eliminates the ball handler guarding Shai in these pick and rolls is crazy, Chill. And then you have Shai who he might be one of the most underrated superstars I've seen in a long time, Chill. This guy is so good, Chill.
He is. He's very good.
This guy is so good, man.
Good to talk to you, Adrian. I appreciate you, brother. So Natalia, I'm sorry, says that Shai is better than Joker currently. This right here is the the recency stuff that I have a really difficult time with. Why is Shea better than Joker currently? Like what is Shea doing currently better than Joker? I'm all ears to hear this because I don't think you can give me legit logic to suggest that he's better than him. Yes, please. I'm all ears. Go.
Well, I thought that comment was very just plain and vague. Me personally, I think Joker. We had a conversation about how Joker, from Giannis and I think Asia Wilson from Did we have that conversation about the best player in the WNBA and the best player in NBA? Because
What is
I think
what I'm asking you, Leaf, is why is SGA currently in December of 2024? Why is he better than Joker currently? Why?
he's not. what, what? I'm like,
You
I
raising your
don't.
hand like I can defend that.
No. I was raising my hand to like just to talk, man. Happy holidays, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I ain't get you no Gatorade. I know. I ain't been in your super chat in a minute, man, and
I
I
was just in
know
this, I was just in the city on Saturday. Yeah, I was just in the city on
on
Saturday.
Saturday. Word.
I was had my daughter. We went to Rockefeller Center. First time I ever been there before. Grew up in Jersey.
For real?
Never been to see the Christmas tree lighting. That's the first time I ever been there.
They
Never
they
been there.
they used to take me when I was young, and I used to go kicking and screaming. I wasn't a big Christmas fan.
It was dope. It was dope.
Yeah,
It was for my daughter more than anything.
Yeah, I'm now that I'm older, I'm probably more of a Christmas fan. I was younger, man. I was an evil little bastard, man. I ain't going over there, man.
Mm.
Getting on the, oh, yeah, don't give
Long
me
as you
that shit.
recognize who you are, Leaf. I think that's the most important thing, B. Long as you recognize that you don't want to screw it up for everybody else. So you like, yo, I'm good. Mm-hmm.
I think that periodically over my 30 something years of living, I think I've evolved into a better version of what I could become. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
I've been forced
All
to
right,
do that. But
that's fair.
no, he's not. I'm sorry, Miss Natalia. He's not better than Joker. Um, I understand that his two-way prowess might allow you to believe that, but Joker currently his offense is just way too much off the charts. I'd argue offensively, this might be the best version of Joker that we've ever seen like as a player. I think he's number one, and I don't think it's even close right now.
Yeah.
Um, I, I think and Bobby mentioned something a couple of weeks ago. He said the gap between Asia Wilson and the number two player in the WNBA is bigger than the gap between Joker and the number two player in the NBA. And I I wanted to agree with that, but I don't know. I might have to change my mind on it. Um, Even though Giannis is leading the league in scoring, even though the Bucks is back, they got back from that shithole that they started the season in.
Mhm.
Um, I still think Joker his ability to pick apart defenses almost every offensive possession when he gets the ball, something good happens.
He's Tom
Something
Brady.
great.
That's who he is
I,
on
I
offense.
you know
That's
what?
that's who Joker is.
You know what? I would go as far as saying, bro, he's Tom Brady and Peyton Manning fused together. If you ever watch Dragon Ball Z, bro, like a lot of people know what I'm talking about. He's fused together with both of them. You're gonna get the best of something. You know, you talking about a guy that's in terms of the buckets that he's responsible for his team. I don't think anybody probably in the history of the game can really I'll probably go on so far in the limit of saying this probably in the history of the game, and people might go up and dig up some history, but I think Joker oh my goodness, I don't know what else to say. Shea is good, but and I understand the two-way prowess, but no, I'm not doing that.
Mhm.
But to get on your thing, to think about OKC, um, I don't gotta look up numbers to go figure out how good they are defensively. I leave that shit up to Mars and all of the overseas people that like to go on the
Excuse me.
computer and dig up numbers and everything. Man, they're good as hell. Their point of attack is good as hell. Their switching is good as hell. The way they defend off the screens is good as hell. The only thing is we got to understand if they had Chet on the back end, how good would they really be? That's my real question.
Mhm. I think
Like,
they'd
but
be
if,
damn
if we
good.
if we calling this team if this team after 25 games, after 20 something games, is the best defense that we've ever seen with our eyes, and you've been around a long time. And to compare, Thursday night, I might have seen the best Detroit Lions team I ever seen in my life. And
That's big.
everybody was looking for,
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, this might be the best Detroit Lions team I ever seen in my life. And guess what? They probably ain't gonna win a goddamn thing. But this is the best Detroit Lions team you ever seen in your life, ain't it?
Well, with that being said, though, Leaf, I mean, I don't know how much better they can get. We talking about them being the best defense ever, and that's without Chet in the lineup. So I don't know how much better they can get. I think that this is it. Now you could get now you can be different, right? I
Oh,
think you could be different. I think that Chet gives them a different element as a rim protector. I think he gives them a different element as a shot blocker. But in terms of what they're doing, in terms of flying around and getting in the passing lanes and rotating, I don't think that they could be any better than what they already are. He just adds them being a rim. He just adds being a rim protector. That's really it.
hold up. Wait a second. Wait a second. Chill. Listen, I think I've listened to you in these conversations and with Mars and on the panel and everything that they done told you and everything that they done gave you the numbers on. Listen to me. I will say this. With Chet in the lineup, me and you both know that they can be even better than really
No,
what they really
I just
are.
think I just think that I think they'll be different. I don't know how much better they would be. I mean,
Different. I understand adding another element, but listen, when you add Chet to what you already have, you are better. It's just that simple. I don't want to unsubscribe to the ideology that they aren't good at all, because they are great without Chet. But once you add Chet as a shot blocker, as a rim protector, as somebody who could switch on the perimeter, and he's agile enough, you are better. It's just that damn simple.
so would it be the same as adding KD to the Warriors? Is that what it is essentially?
All right.
I'm just saying, Leaf. We ain't
You
talking
did
about a great defense.
this shit earlier.
Leaf.
I listened to you on the show. You did this shit earlier, and you tried to make a super team out of
Actually, Mars was
nowhere
the
by
one who brought
putting
that up. That wasn't me.
2016.
That wasn't me. It was Mars who
That
actually brought
wasn't
that up.
you.
That was not me. That was Mars who brought that. And Mars brought it up the night before in the chat when we were doing the playback game. That was Mars who brought that up. Like,
So you cleared
imagine.
your name.
I
Okay.
ain't had nothing to do with that. No, I didn't have nothing. It was Mars who said, "Imagine this Oklahoma City team with 2016 KD." That was him who said that. That wasn't me. But what I'm asking is, this team, this Oklahoma City Thunder team, as a defensive team today, is
Right.
considered the best defense. They have, by the numbers, the best defensive team in NBA history. So
Yeah.
if I'm adding Chet, am I adding basically KD to this crew? Is that what I'm doing?
If you add in Chet and you add in 2016 KD to this crew, we talking about some shit that's not even fair. I'll be honest with you, bro. Like I don't even want to think that way, because we've seen a lot of it's one of the reasons why the CBA exists, is to make sure the bullshit that went down in the last decade never happens again. That's one of the reasons why, bro. And I think we all know it. But to stay on point, and I'm gonna do this before I leave. To stay on point about their defense, everything that you said is 100% on point. But to before I leave, now you talked about the best players year after year. Now you said six. Who you said? You said Joker, Braun. Who
That was in
else?
20. That was in 21. It was James. It was KD, Harden, Curry, Giannis, Leonard.
Mm-hmm. That was the six best players. Like that. Okay. So all right.
Where
So
does
let me get.
that was the year in 21. That was the year he won the league MVP. Where does he fall amongst those guys?
Who we talking about now?
James, KD,
Uh
Harden,
huh.
Curry, Giannis, Leonard.
In 2021.
That was the first year he won the league MVP.
Joke. Okay. So will he fall as the best player?
Or where does he
I,
fall amongst those six guys?
at 20 in
In
2021, I
20,
think.
because again, remember who we talking about, Lee. The 2024-25 version of Joker ain't the same as the 2021
Right.
Joker.
Yeah.
These
Of
two
course.
dudes is different.
So I might have to say six. Just thinking off the top of my head, because
Yep.
you said Harden. Harden, if I'm not mistaken, was he was in a fat suit, like you like to call it, and came over here, was putting up triple doubles
It
still.
was like he took the fat suit off in a week. It was gone. Like, what happened? What happened? Because Leaf, if we being honest and keep it a bean with me, Leaf, when you saw James Harden, how much in your estimation did you think he weighed?
I ain't gonna lie. I thought he weighed like about 240.
That's
Like
where I was at. I
242.
said that was my number exactly. I was like,
I
he
ain't gonna
easily
lie.
240. And
And
James
then,
Harden's
but
playing with is like 225, something like that.
when he got in that black and white jersey, it looked like he was back to about like 219,
It was
220.
like
I'm like,
it just
I
shrunk.
was like, yo, what
What
the
happened?
hell? And you know what? It's crazy because I didn't see an injury coming the way that it came. The way that he picked apart Boston in that first round that year,
Yeah.
you would have never thought in your wildest dreams. Wait, yo, you got injured in the first 58 seconds of playing Milwaukee? Giannis scared you that much? I'm like, all right,
Malone did.
to get back to your question, I would have to say 6. But now going towards the later years, towards the earlier years, 91, Jordan, right? Jordan won
Yes.
MVP. Jordan got he was the best player in
91,
the league. Okay.
92, and 93.
91, 92, and 93. Okay.
Yeah.
94. Who you had as the
Olajuwon.
best? He won
Olajuwon.
MVP, right?
Yep.
Okay, so that's another player. Okay, 95. Did who won that year?
That was David Robinson.
David
Olajuwon was the best player in the
Robinson.
game.
Olajuwon was the best player. Okay, 96.
Mhm.
Who won it that year?
Jordan.
Jordan, and it was Jordan.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. 90. Now, you're probably the first person that ever said this shit. You said 97, you thought Jordan should have won. You said 98, you thought Malone should have won.
They
Why
had it. I
what was
think
your
they had
reason?
it.
What
Well,
was your reason for that?
that Bulls team won 69 games that year. They were fantastic. Jordan was the catalyst to
In,
all of
in
that stuff.
97, right?
In
Yeah.
97, they won 69 games that year. That's never happened in NBA history where a team won that many games and you don't have the league MVP on your crew. That's never happened.
That is crazy. Now
That's
that I
never
think
happened
about it,
before.
yeah. I think that was at the time that was like the second most wins, and because they had
NBA history.
170 the previous they 170 the previous year,
They had broke their own record.
and then they broke their own damn record, and I
well, they
was
didn't
like, all
break
right,
they didn't break the record, but they came
they
second
almost broke
behind
it.
the,
They almost
yeah.
tied the shit, and then
Yes, they did.
okay,
They
so
won
yeah, so they
69
had it
games that
wrong.
year.
Okay, so
So I thought Jordan should have
98.
won it in 97, and I thought Malone should have won it
So
in
Malone
98.
should okay, all right. So okay, 99. Who you had
Malone.
as the best player
Shaq was
in the league?
and Shaq was right next to him. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Your cousin. So you had your cousin all across the board in 2000.
2000, 2001, 2002, Duncan in 2003, Duncan in 2004, Duncan in 2005. Yes.
Whoa. Okay. So 2002, 01 or 02, you had your cousin as the best player.
Yes. Yes. He was still the best player in the league.
02, I'm gonna go with Duncan. I think I'm gonna go with Duncan. Because with like 02 and 03, I'm gonna go definitely 03. I'll go with Duncan. What he did that
I'll
year.
give you
04.
03. I'll give you 03. 02, after what they did to the Spurs, and I mean Shaq played 67 games that year. He was
Now
26.
01. I'm not arguing 01. 02.
No, 02. 02 is what I'm talking about. The year that was the year that they finished the three-peat. That was the year that they finished the three-peat and they beat the Nets. So he had played 67 games that year. Been playing
I think they
67
kind of
games.
slugged through that, man. Like I get in conversations with people. I think they kind of slugged that, but I'm not to take up your time. All right, so who you got the rest? The rest of the way you got 05 Duncan.
I had 05 Duncan. I had
Oh
Duncan in
six.
06. I had Dirk in 07. I had Brian in 08.
I had Kobe in 07.
I had Brian in 08. I wanted to say James in 09, but
No.
I mean I felt like he was there in 09.
Hell no.
But but it was still Bryant. And then in 10, when he won that back-to-back NBA championship and then won the league MVP 2 years before that, I thought it was Bryant in 10. I think it was James in 11. I think it was James in 12. I think it was James in 13. I think it was KD won it in 14, but I think it was James in 14. I think it was James in 15. I think it was James in 16. I think it was James.
I got Steph in 16.
James put that to rest in 16 in the NBA Finals. He shut the door on that. And in 17, I got James in 17 again. I got James in 18 again. 19 is where it gets tricky. Because is James Harden the best player in the game in 19? Even though James had gotten hurt that year. And I still thought James was the best player, but he got hurt.
I can't say LeBron was the best player. He got hurt.
Yeah, he got hurt that year.
So I would have to say
Leonard. You can say Harden or Leonard, whichever one you
Harden,
want. Harden or Leonard.
I would say Harden, Kawhi, or Steph. Steph went back to Steph went back to the finals.
Yeah, I don't hate Leonard.
And KD got hurt that year. So I mean,
yes,
like, so one of them three, you got to make up your mind. So all right, so 19 is a tricky year. Okay, 20.
James. He would have won the league MVP if COVID didn't shut the season down. He had outplayed, and Leaf, you can't sit there and tell me that we don't have games throughout the season that determine the league MVP. And he had outplayed him that second time that they saw Milwaukee in Los Angeles. And I feel like that's where the divide was. On top of that, that Laker team was on their way to winning 60-plus games that year before COVID shut the season down. They were on their way to winning 60 games that year. He was averaging 25 a game, and he was leading the league in assists. I think he would have won the league MVP. I remember that.
But yeah, I'll get back to you on that. We'll have another day. 21.
That's where it gets tricky because it was either James. I think it was James, but KD was in the comments. KD had just come off an injury, but KD was in serious conversation with Joker, and I mean Leonard was fantastic that year too. But I still think it was James.
I got Giannis.
20. You can and Giannis too. Giannis was definitely there, but I don't think it was definitive at that point. That's why I brought up these names when it came to Joker. That's why I brought up these names when it came to Joker winning the league MVP that year.
I think Giannis put it to bed when he came back from a 2-0 deficit in the finals. He came back from that injury and won the finals. I thought he was too, but he came back and put that to bed in 21. At the end of 21, it was him. 22, who you had?
No, actually, you're right. In 21, it was at the end of 21, it was Giannis to win the league MVP in back-to-back seasons, and then to win the NBA championship and to win the Finals MVP. It was Giannis. That was my criteria.
22, you got Giannis again? No. I mean, he went 7 games with the Celtics without Middleton,
and he had another MVP caliber season.
Sure did. So you got Giannis there?
I
know you don't got LeBron.
No, after 21, James is out. James is no longer in the best player in the world talk. I think he's out after 21.
You made an argument at 20, but like anything after
20, after the year that Giannis, I felt like Giannis was the best player in the world in 21. After that year, James is out of the best player in the world.
Okay, so 21 and 22, you got Giannis.
In 22. I think that's when Joker is emerging as the best player in the league. I mean, to win the league MVP in back-to-back seasons and to take that team to the playoffs and then to win it and then to go on and win the NBA championship in 23, I think he stamped himself as the best player in the league at that point.
I would say this. I had Giannis in 22 simply because Joker, that was another year without Jamal Murray. They went up against the Golden State Warriors in the first round. 5 games. There's the door. There it is in the first round. So that's the only reason why I went with Giannis. All right, 23. Who you had?
Joker.
Joker at the end of in 24. You got Joker again.
Joker.
And then this year, after this year is over, you got Joker again.
I think he's the best player in the game still. Yes, I do.
So that's 3 straight years. When this year is over, guaranteed, there's nothing nobody could do.
I think he's the best player. Now, if they don't make the playoffs, I think we may have to have a conversation. But ultimately, I think Joker's the best player in the game. I do. So
you the
Leaf,
man.
I got to bounce, brother.
All right,
brother.
Of course.
Good to talk to you. Yep. Oh, look what the wind blew in.
Chill, what you yapping about, man?
Look what the wind blew in.
What you yapping about, Chill?
Hey, man. What's going on, brother?
I just, you know what I mean? I just sat down. I just got to the crib. You know, we about to grab some food. And then I heard you talking. I'm like, man, what's he talking about? And then I hear you talking about this year, the MVP race and whatnot. I'm trying to get set up a little system right here. There we go. Now we locked in.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yes, you hot. Mm-hmm.
Yo, what you talking about, Chill? This is my problem with this. How you went back-to-back MVPs, you ain't the best player in the world.
Steve Nash wasn't the best player in the world in 2005 and 2006.
Steve Nash wasn't Jokic, but you know Steve Nash isn't Jokic.
Steve Nash had one of the best offensive seasons in NBA history.
2005. No, but no, we're not talking about the same thing though.
Yes, we are.
We're not
We're
talking about the same thing.
Yes, we are. Your stance, Swiper, is winning back-to-back league MVPs. That's your stance.
No. I'm saying how you win back-to-back MVP. You win one of the best scorers in the league, one of the best rebounders, one of the best playmakers, and you ain't got no other all-stars in your roster. You win back-to-back MVPs. He averaged 27, 14, and 8.
Yep.
And then went to the playoff versus the number one defense in the NBA by far and averaged 31, 13, and 6 on like +8 efficiency. Come on, man. Stop it. This is the thing. You were late to the party. That's all this is. I was right the whole time. I've been telling y'all since 2021. You didn't even know me. I've been telling y'all since 2021 who the best player in the world was. Now, Giannis, I give it, you won the finals and all that stuff. Giannis wasn't better in the regular season in 2022, wasn't better in the playoff, had a really good series versus the Celtics. But that 21 year, he should have been out. They got beat by 40 in 21. 40. If the Brooklyn Nets and Kyrie Irving and them don't go down, it's a wrap. Giannis ain't got no ring.
But that's not what happened, Oswald.
They played a hurt run. But I'm saying he missed time. He missed time in the Atlanta Hawks series. He was great. Don't get me wrong. I ain't gonna slander Giannis. Giannis was incredible in the final. But just playoff run. Jokic has the best playoff run, wire to wire, that we've seen
since Shaq in 2000.
No. I don't even know if Shaq had a better series than that. I don't know if Shaq had a better run than what Joker did in that. Now, if you want to say like versus Dikembe and all that other stuff, then whatever. But
in 2000, he was incredible.
But player for player, scoring, rebounding, and the playmaking, we've never seen it before. Never.
Well,
it's never happened.
I don't know if we've ever seen it.
No. Larry didn't do it. Michael didn't do it. LeBron didn't do it. He had a
Jordan.
triple-double in the playoffs.
He averaged a 30-point triple-double.
He averaged a 30-point triple-double in the playoffs.
And I can appreciate the assist, Swiper. And I did watch Shaq. I think Shaq led the league in score and led the playoffs.
I'm so sick of this. But Shaq wasn't Joker in that run.
Yes, in 2000, 100% he was. And then the average.
Sorry, bro.
And
I wish I could play versus Rick Smith. I wish I could play versus Rick Smith in my
Hey, man, I'm sorry.
He ain't better than Bam. He ain't better than Bam or Anthony Davis or Rudy Gobert. Don't even start lying. Who isn't better than him? Rick Smith isn't better. I didn't say
he was. Whoa. I'm not saying that he was. But I'm 100% confident that he can hold his own against those guys. With that being said,
no, he cannot.
I'm not gonna discount Shaq going 30-16 in the NBA Finals in 2000. 30-16.
That's great. But guess what?
Great.
No, listen. If Joker would have played versus a dead ball era, imagine Joker versus a dead ball spacing era where there's no spacing, there's no high volume 3-point shot, and he can grab every single Joker could legit average 40 and 20 in that series. He's the only player to ever have a 30-20-10 in the game in the NBA Finals. He's the only player with a 30-20-10 game in the NBA Finals. Chill. Do you realize this? I know you do because you're not a casual. You're not a casual, and like some of these people in the chat. Shout everybody in chat.
Did you just say that Joker is the only player in NBA history to have a 30-20 game?
A 30-20-10 game in the NBA Finals. It's never been done before.
Okay.
It's never been done. And guess what? Only 2 other players have ever had a 30-20-10 game in the NBA playoffs ever. Do you know who they are?
The 30-20-10 game. 30 points, 20 rebounds, 10 assists. I think
there's only 2 other players. Chamberlain.
I think Chamberlain did that.
And there's one more.
I don't know who the other guy is.
Kareem had one.
Jabbar did it in 71.
But guess what? You know what the funny thing is? Joker got 3 of them. He's the only guy with more than one. Joker had a 53-11 assist game in the NBA playoff after he had a 30-17-17 game. Joker's the only player with a 30-15-15 playoff game.
30, 15, and 15. I mean, they didn't
30,
count assists.
17, and 17.
Yeah, they didn't count assists back. I mean, not assists. I'm sorry. They didn't count them like that. I mean,
and y'all and everybody want to talk about and Giannis didn't play nobody until they got to the NBA Finals. Show my line in 2021. That run was horrible. They played the Hawks in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Beat Brooklyn. They beat Atlanta.
Brooklyn was hurt. Harden had no hamstring.
They swept Miami. They swept Miami.
Remember, Jimmy Butler had a back injury after the bubble.
They swept Miami. They beat Brooklyn, and then they beat Atlanta, and then
Brooklyn again. Brooklyn only had Durant. Harden literally couldn't walk.
But with that being, wait a minute though, Swiper. So with Giannis going up against Bam. Bam, I think Bam was second or third that year.
No. But they weren't a complete team. Their best player was out. Like he wasn't even the same player.
But Jimmy did play in that series. No.
He was injured. No. Stop. He had an injury going into the playoff. Remember. Hold on. I'm gonna clear this up for all the casuals. Remember, after the bubble, they had 1 month off. All 4 of the teams that made the Eastern Conference Finals post bubble, they all had a major injury on the roster. Jimmy Butler was hurt. Anthony Davis was hurt, and LeBron had missed time. The Denver Nuggets
it was actually 6 weeks. It was 6 weeks to be.
No, it wasn't. It was a month. It was a month for after the NBA Finals. And then, I know it was a month. Training camp started a month later. It was training camp for the next year started 1 month later. You weren't there. Your guy Tatum wasn't there. You wouldn't know.
That's not true, Spiper. The NBA, I think Game 6 of the NBA Finals was October 17th. Opening night was Christmas.
No, but training camp started a month later. A month later. Yeah, it did. Anyway,
we didn't have
again, Anthony Davis had a major injury. Jamal Murray had a major injury. Who else went to East? And then the Celtics, Jaylen Brown was hurt, had an injury that run. And remember, Jason Tatum had that 50 ball in the first round the next year. Remember?
That avoided them getting swept.
Right. So
correct.
Everybody was done. Everybody was done. All the elite teams were done for. They all had injuries. And then remember that 21 run? They were disappointing. They played versus the Nets. They got blown out. And then everything happened. KD's towing the line. I'm telling you right now, the whole narrative around Giannis would be completely different. And ever since that point, he's been a disappointment in 22. And then remember in the 7, and again, I want to say he was obviously like laboring because he was tired by Game 7. He couldn't make a layup at the end of Game 7 in the Celtics series. You remember that? I remember that.
Can't we use the same logic? But can't we use the same logic with the Denver Nuggets? Because
Joker was phenomenal.
Yes, we can use the same logic.
No, Joker had 21 in Game 7.
No, this is the same Denver Nuggets.
He had 21 in the second half of Game 7.
This is the same Denver Nuggets team that went up against a hurt. Because you just told
me
who was hurt.
Who was hurt?
Cat just got back in the lineup.
Who?
He came back from being out.
No. Cat had been back for over a month. Don't do that. He was
Jimmy
fine.
Butler had been back. What are you talking about?
What do you mean? No, Jimmy Butler was still hurt going into the playoffs. That was factual.
And so was Cat.
No, he wasn't. Cat was not injured
Cat.
No, chill. Don't make up narrative. Don't make up narrative. He had been back for a month. He had been back for a month.
Yes, he did, but he was out. He was also out for 54 games.
He would be having back for a month, chill.
Even if he was back for a month, he still was coming off
he
from
wasn't.
injury.
No,
he wasn't 100%.
He was 100%.
Like he came out.
I've never.
You're not going to use that logic with me with Jimmy Butler.
I covered the team. I covered the team. I know who was hurt. He was healthy. Chill. This is your problem. This is your problem. When you lose arguments, you bring up random
I'm not
things.
losing an argument, Swiper. What you're trying to do is what you're trying to do, Swiper, is you're trying to sell me one thing and it's really something else.
I'm not selling you nothing.
You're trying to tell me that Jimmy Butler was hurt going into the playoffs in
21. He actually was.
Meanwhile, Cat missed 54 games that year
chill.
because of a calf.
Jimmy Butler,
because of a calf injury.
Jimmy Butler was hurt.
Injury because with him missing time because of a calf injury, he wasn't back. He wasn't back to 100%.
No, chill. You're
wasn't.
equating things
That's
that didn't happen. I'm reading this right now. He had a MCL sprain going into the playoffs. He was not the same player. He was injured. I'm looking dead at it right now.
Cat was.
I can pull his injury report.
And Cat was coming off.
He wasn't coming off. You can't be back for a month and be coming off.
Yes,
you can't be coming off.
He had missed more than 3/4. He had missed 3/4 of half the season. What are we talking about? He had missed 54 games. What are we doing, Cat? I mean, that's 2/3 of the season, Swiper.
No, he was already back.
Doing?
Here we go. Let me read this to you. Since you're apparently or whatever. Since apparently you don't know what you're talking about. Let me educate you again. So bringing us sporting news. Here we go. They were the top to the top. No, that wasn't the right year. Not the right year. Let me go back. What year is this? 23.
2021.
Yep.
And then
2023.
Cat had missed 54 games that year.
Cat got back. He got back in March. Stop it. He got back in March. I don't want to hear it. He was fine.
Really? The playoffs started April. I'm
reading it right now.
What are we talking about?
The last stretch of the game. That year he was fine.
2/3 of the season.
Look at his numbers. The last
Even if he was playing good, he had still. And guess what happened to Isaiah Thomas, Swiper?
What are you yapping about? And number one, they were in the AC. They were in AC for a reason. Chill.
Because he missed 54 games.
No, they weren't good that year, and they got dominated.
You know why they weren't good? Because their best offensive player was
best
out of the
offensive
lineup.
player. Not that year. No, he wasn't the best offensive player that year.
What are you talking about, Swiper? Their best offensive player was out of the lineup for 2/3 of the season. But that's neither here nor there. You're telling me about a guy in Giannis that was making a run, right? You're telling me about a guy in Giannis that was making a weak run. Meanwhile, Joker, the same thing was going on with him.
No. Hold on, chill. Time out. Hold on. Answer this question directly. He faced a tougher level of competition by far than Giannis did going to the finals. That's not even a conversation. He had Kevin. Really? No, stop. He had Rudy Gobert, Karl-Anthony Towns, Anthony Edwards, Kevin Durant, who was healthy, Devin Booker, and again they were the favorites going into that series. Chill. The Suns were the prohibited favorite going into the series, and then he played versus the Lakers.
We didn't know what the story was with Giannis. That's
no. I'm talking about Kevin Durant. The Suns were the favorite going into the Nuggets series. They were the favorites going into the second round series
because which was a joke, by the way.
No, it was. Remember, they were 13-2 when Kevin Durant had played.
He had played 8 games previous to the playoffs.
No, but I'm saying, like they had from the moment he got there in February.
That was nonsense.
No, but remember,
yes, keep going.
It was. But remember, nobody believed in the Nuggets because nobody thought they were for real. Everybody thought they were fraudulent, even though they were the number 1 seed by 7 games. Everybody thought they were fraudulent. They beat the Suns. They sweep the Lakers, and LeBron and AD were playing out of their minds in the playoffs. Were they not?
Yes, they were. They got busy against them.
Stop it.
Yes,
the Lakers were better than any team Giannis and them saw. They were better than any team the Bucks saw in 21. Any team. They were better than the Suns.
They're better than Miami.
They were better than the Suns. They're better than the Suns. Now,
y'all ended up sweeping them in a dogfight. Y'all did.
How you sweep a dogfight? Chill. You are 0-4 versus me in head-to-head. In head-to-head debates. This ain't no dogfight.
That is not true.
This ain't no dogfight.
That is not true.
This ain't no dogfight.
Actually, Swiper, your debate skills aren't very good at all. What you do?
Chill, you've never beat me.
Talk. And you actually, I've never even.
Chill. We have a debate posted online right now with 21,000 views, and everybody is saying, "Chill, can't believe you lost to Swiper again."
I haven't seen that. No, I have not.
Now you don't want to read the comment section.
But I will. But I will go see it.
Let me ask you a direct question. Joker wins a 4th MVP this year. He's top 10.
Why does he have to be top 10? But why does he have to win a 4th?
Everybody with 4 MVPs is a top 10 player in NBA history. Every single one of them. Every single one.
Bird doesn't have 4 MVPs. Magic doesn't have 4.
No,
MVPs.
I'm saying name the 4 MVP winners. They're all top 10 players ever.
Okay, so Jordan, LeBron, James, Russell, Chamberlain. That's it.
Say those names again.
Jordan, Chamberlain, Russell. Jordan, Chamberlain, Russell, Magic. Jordan, Chamberlain, Russell, Jabbar, and Jordan, Chamberlain, and James. It's 5 guys. No, 5 guys. So we're gonna get no, I'm not cooked.
First off, and I don't for everybody.
One championship.
Hold on, let me
one championship.
No, chill. Let me expose you. Chill. I'm exposing you right now.
Please do. I'm all ears to hear this.
Was LeBron James a top 10 player before he won? But when he won, so remember 2012, 12-13, going into the
no, he was not. Swiper.
No, stop. No, I don't want to hear this. Don't even lie to me.
About to say.
No. Wait.
When he won that bet, when he won that first one, no.
Chat. Don't let Chill lie to you. LeBron had 3 MVPs and a title going into the second NBA Finals that he won. He was already a top 10 player. Already a top 10 player.
3 MVPs.
3 MVPs. It was LeBron.
It's completely different.
It was LeBron. How was it different?
Why are you yelling? But okay, sure. But you want to have this conversation? Let's do it. So
how was LeBron not top 10 by that point?
So at that point, if I'm not mistaken, James had won the league MVP
3 times.
3 times in 4 years.
Sound awfully familiar.
No, it doesn't, Swiper. It does not sound awfully familiar. And the reason why it doesn't sound awfully familiar is because, but okay, Swiper, fine.
Wait, actually, no, I'm tripping. He won 3 MVPs before he won 1 title. That's right. Remember, he won the 9,
right here.
10, 11, 12, 9.
That was the third one was the year that they won the championship.
Before he won a title, he had 3 MVPs.
The year he won the league MVP is the year.
I remember when Joker was on the way doing that. They said no, only Larry could do that. We can't give it to him yet. He hasn't proven himself. Chill. He got one of the most dominant postseason runs ever, and on top of that, 3 MVPs. 1 he should have won, which should be 4. And right now, who
comes out the top 10. So okay,
Kobe,
James, Jordan, Jabbar.
Kobe, easy.
I don't have Kobe in the top 10.
Who's in yours?
James, Jordan, Jabbar, Chamberlain, Russell, Magic, Bird, Duncan, Olajuwon, Diesel. Who comes out of the top 10?
Oh, but you already know how I feel about Russell. Like it's not even he's not a better basketball player than Joker. I just think he's too important to take out. I'm saying I think he's too important to take out.
Right.
But he's not a better basketball player than Joker. It's just he's too important.
So Kobe as the gatekeeper at number 11. So Kobe,
Will's
also
not a better basketball player than Joker either. He's not. He's not a better basketball player. No, he is not. He didn't do anything better than Joker except block shots.
Yes,
that's
it.
it.
He finished around the basket. He was a better bucket getter. Yes,
he wasn't. He wasn't a better scorer than Joker. What are you yapping about?
Yes, he was.
So the same Will that would drop every playoff. The same Will that would drop every playoff is the same one better.
Yes, the same Wilt Chamberlain. But your logic is based solely on buckets, and
no,
my
it's
logic
not.
isn't based.
He's not even close to the same level of playmaker.
My logic isn't based solely on buckets. Your logic is based solely on buckets. But
no, it's not. Hold on, time out. Hold on. Let me ask you a direct question. Let me ask you a direct question. Yeah, you do all you want. Is he even in the same class as Joker as an offensive player?
Yes. Chamberlain is 100% in that class. Yes.
So Chamberlain's a top 3 offensive player ever.
Joker is not a top 3 offensive player ever.
Chill.
No, he isn't.
What?
This is stuff that you're making up.
Never before has this ever been done.
No, this is stuff that you're making up. Swiper.
So you're saying that which player ever could do what he's doing right now? I'm asking a question. I'm asking a question. Which player ever could do what he's doing right now? Which player ever?
Which player could ever? So which player, I could use the same. I can forward that same question back to you. Which player could ever do what Chamberlain was doing?
Chamberlain was playing against plumbers. That doesn't mean anything to me. I'm just playing. Don't do it. Don't cancel me. But I'm asking, which NBA player ever could do what Joker doing right now? 32, 13, 10, 50, 50, 80.
He's on a stretch. He's 100%.
Who else could do that? Bird couldn't do it. He couldn't do it.
Bird couldn't do it. Bird didn't play.
Steph couldn't do it. LeBron damn sure couldn't do it.
First of all, we don't know that because those guys never played in this era. So we don't know that. We don't. But
Joker's having the best start to NBA history right now. He's having the best individual start in NBA history. No one's ever been this good before. Ever.
That's true. I mean, Chamberlain averaged 50 a game.
You saying Chamberlain? Chamberlain does not move you. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm just not moved by it. I've seen him play in the playoffs. It's interesting. I saw him play in the playoffs.
And you saw that one run that Joker had, right? You saw that one run.
Joker's an all-time great playoff performer.
Why aren't you talking about Joker the year that y'all lost in 22 when Joker his numbers dropped against the Golden State Warriors? I just brought it up. They went up. No, casual. That's what I'm talking about. He averaged 31, 13, and 6 on 63 true shooting in that series. 63 true shooting. Even though when Draymond Green was covering him, he shot under 40%.
No, he did. He shot 50% versus Draymond in that series. Look it up. No, you're wrong. No, time out. Look it up. Look it up.
That's not my opinion. In 22,
I'm saying, let's look it up.
That's a fact.
No, look it up. Hold on.
This argument is so lazy.
No, it's not. It's not at all. I know that I'm right because I talk about this.
You're telling me. You are telling me that you're
looking it up right now. Nikola Jokic, NBA.com.
That Joker. You're telling me that Joker, who I watched that playoff series, and I'm seeing the numbers that when he was guarded by Draymond Green, he shot under 40% against Draymond Green.
Let's go. Let's do this. Let me move you over here. See profile. Go to matchups. Go to 2021-22 playoffs. Go offense.
He dropped to 40%.
Let me. I'm reading it to you. You ready?
Under 40% against Draymond Green.
Are you ready? I'm gonna read them directly to you. This is again 2022 playoffs. This is total offense. Are you ready?
I suppose.
Okay. Hey, chat. I'm gonna turn. How you turn this camera around? While you're on the phone, I can't do it. I'm on the app. How do you do it on the app? How you turn the camera around on this app, Chill? Because I'm tired of this.
All you got to do is just turn it to the computer.
Okay, Chill. Draymond Green. This is the 2022 playoffs totaled offense. Draymond Green. Chill. What does it say? 31 minutes of matchup data.
I can't see it. Sorry. There we go. Get it a little bit closer. A little bit closer than that. To the right. To the right. 142. 60 points.
69.
I'm sorry, 69. I'm sorry, 161, 11 assists. What's that? 10 turnovers? Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay, a block. Field goals made 29, 50. So he shot 50.5%, 51%. Draymond Green did.
No, Jokic did versus Draymond Green. That's what you just read off.
That doesn't say that against Draymond.
No, I'm literally pulled it up. This is what. So you go.
So somebody's lying.
No, I'm no one lied. You just got false data. I'm reading it to you. Matchups head to head. You go to offense. Nikola Jokic, the player right here on offense, and all you do is go to stats, matchup head to head. You go to 22 playoff total offense. When Draymond Green was the primary defender. Then I got the wrong numbers. Yeah, because you just be yapping. Because you just be yapping. 69 points scored, 51% versus that player. Versus Kevon Looney, 17 minutes. They scored 91 points in those matchups. He had 38 points versus Kevon Looney in single coverage and shot 62.5%. So versus Draymond, he shot 51. Versus Looney, he shot 63. Versus Wiggins, he shot 63. Versus Clay, he shot 83. Versus Kuminga, he shot 100. Versus Steph, he shot 71. Versus Bjelica, he shot 50. Versus Porter, he shot 62. So not only are you wrong, not only did you get corrected rightly on your own page, you, sir, got cooked again because you made up some false stats.
I did not make up any false stats. So are we done here? Okay, because I'm cooked.
No, chill. Real question. What do you think Joker has to do to get top 10? Do you think a title this year and an MVP?
I feel like it's already cemented. I don't think that a title should change that. I feel like if you already think
for you,
then why? Nothing. There's nothing that he could do to get into the top 10. Nothing.
Ever.
He's got to do something substantial to get out to get in front of Chamberlain, to get in front of Russell. I mean, when we talk about him being if we talk about him being a top 5, I mean, we talk about the center spot. I mean, I think that's something completely different than top 10 players. I mean, Joker doesn't even have the longevity to be in the top 10 conversations. Joker is at his peak right now. Now, what you're trying to suggest to me is that his peak is better than all the other guys' peak. So the fact that he won 3 league MVPs in 4 years, or he's won 4 in 5 years, that makes him a top 10 player all time. That's just one part of it. He's not winning matters when we also talking about being a top 10 player.
You do acknowledge though, among any player that's ever won 3 or more MVPs, he's had the worst supporting cast of all of them, including 4. Well, in 4, let's do 4. Let's do 4 for Joker. Let's do 4. Among all those all-time great players, he has by far the worst cast.
No.
Which are the other 4 MVPs?
James didn't have what
James
didn't have. Are you kidding me, Swiper? Those
LeBron
Cleveland
James?
teams.
No, he has
Cleveland
4
teams?
MVP. But James has played next to Wade, Bosh, and Kyrie.
That was
and
in
Kevin
year
Love.
8. That was
I know,
in year
but
8.
I'm bringing up the 4-time MVP winner. He's played with the least amount of talent among all the other 4-time MVP winners.
So
by
by
far.
the time you get the 4 league MVPs, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Is this what I'm understanding?
I'm just saying over the course of your career, because you're measuring Jokic by titles, and I'm saying none of his title teams had the requisite talent of LeBron's title teams or Russell's title teams or any of these players. They all had better title teams. They all had better teams around them. So I think that's what the conversation is for me at this point. If Joker wins another finals with Jamal Murray as his number 2, relative to the other players in his class, that's by far the worst number 2 of everybody else. I mean, you name the 4 MVPs. Who all won 4 MVPs? Russell?
It's 5 of them. It's James, it's Jordan, Jabbar, Russell, and Chamberlain.
Right. Like Jabbar had Magic. And then he had Oscar obviously super early. Like LeBron, it's not a question. Scottie Pippen and them, you obviously know they were better. You just go up and down the list. I just think that's why I'm saying Joker's doing something unprecedented because he's winning these awards and winning titles next to players that are none of them are going to go down as historically great players. He's not going to have a historically great number 2, which is, I think it's a part of the problem. I'm saying that I think that needs to be corrected. I don't like that he's going through that. Let me ask you this, Chill, about Hakeem. Do you think if Hakeem, let's say after 86,
you talked about historical, you talked about players. I mean,
Bro, if Hakeem had another dog next to him after 86, chill.
He did.
No, I'm saying like another all-time great. I mean, he had like Horry and
So
Sam
if that's
Cassell
so if that's the case, then what Olajuwon did in 94, I mean, does that equate to what Joker's doing now?
Well, I think he's top 10. I think he's top 10.
Right. So does that, and for him to be a top, so what you're trying to sell me is that nobody has had a supporting cast like Joker
or Hakeem. I'm
Hakeem
saying that if the Rockets
so who comes out is my question, because what I'm trying to understand from you, Swiper, your stance is Joker with the supporting cast that he has, how little bit of a supporting cast that he has, how much he has to do in order for them to win, his road to get there. Nobody else has had to do that. In the process of them having to do that, him doing everything that he's done. But when I think about all those other guys, I'm not going to tax those other guys. I'm not going to tax James, Jordan, Jabbar, Chamberlain, Russell, Magic, Bird, Duncan, Olajuwon. Because if I look at what Duncan did in 2003 with that supporting cast, with a David Robinson,
they were an elite team. But they've always been an elite team.
No, they weren't.
They've always been.
No, they were not. We did not know who Tony. No, they were not. Swiper, that's not true. We did not know who Tony Parker was. We didn't know who Steven Jackson was. We had a journeyman in Bruce Bowen. We didn't know who he was. That was his third. I think that was his third team.
But you're naming one title over the course of Tim Duncan's career. Did he not play with more Hall of Fame talent than Joker has?
If I think about, let's see.
Come on now, Manu Ginobili.
But here's the difference, Swiper. We did not know who these guys were.
No,
we didn't know who Manu
Ginobili was.
Over the course
of their career.
Okay, sure. Manu Ginobili turned into that. 100% he turned into that. Just like Tony Parker turned into that. Yes. Jamal Murray, we thought was turning into that. We thought he was becoming a great player. And ultimately, he went the other way. Now, could he turn back into what he did 2 years ago?
Hopefully,
I don't know. I don't know. But what we do know is Tim Duncan, the guys that he had in both Tony Parker.
No, but you're naming 1 year. Chill. I said the career.
I'm talking about over the course of his career.
But they were Hall of Famers.
Yes, and we didn't know who they were up until that point, Swiper.
But so from 2003 on, how many more titles did he win?
2.
Okay.
I'm sorry, 3. They won it in 05, they won it in 07, and they won it in 14. So 3 more.
But Manu, Hall of Famer, Tony, after 2003, those dudes were solidified and they were all-stars.
We don't know who Joker is going to have on his crew for the rest of his career. He's only 29 years old, so I think that's an unfair comparison.
No, but I'm saying for Joker to get 4 MVPs and a title without any of that so far is literally unprecedented. He's the only all-time great not to play next to another all-star player, like a really good in their generation, like right now, like Jalen Brunson. Even. I don't think he's an all-time great player. But like, if he had Jalen Brunson, like I think the conversation would be drastically different about the Nuggets. I just think Jamal Murray has not taken the leap forward, unfortunately, for many different reasons. But like, if you gave him like an SGA, like think about it, like SGA basically like an approximation to Kobe, and then you gave him Shaq. Like if you gave Jokic SGA, would anybody beat them?
Are we going to have this conversation in years to come when Joker does have better talent around him? Because that's 100% going to happen. That is 100% going to happen.
But chill, their cap situation is so tough, man.
Even if it is though, Swiper, the problem that I'm having is that Joker has not been around as long as I would like to see him be elite. Sure, we're looking at. I don't think he's going to win the league MVP this year. I can't see them giving him the league MVP.
Well, what do you mean giving? What do you mean giving? They're not going to be the 7th seed. They're right now. They're 1 loss out of the 4 seed. So what if they end up the 4 seed?
Even if they end up as the 4 seed, no, I don't see them giving him the league.
This is what I'm saying. Where you could be so blind. Chill.
No, I'm not.
If he's averaging 32, 13, and 10 on an all-time efficiency, 32. He is. He's the second leading scorer in the NBA.
He was averaging 32.
No, he's averaging 32 right now. He's 0.3 out of leading the NBA in scoring. 0.3.
I just want to. I do know that was the case a couple of days ago. I do.
No, Giannis is number 1. Joker's right behind him. Not even a point difference.
I want to make sure that that's true because I think that I do think that that's the case. Yes, that's still going on today. Yes, that is still going on.
If he's averaging,
so with that being said, Joker beats out SGA last season. Yeah. He beats out Jason Tatum last season. This is the same SGA.
Well, Jason was 6. Jason was 6.
What I'm saying is that he beat out SGA And Jason Tatum is top 5 in the league in scoring this year. That's number one. Number two, SGA, again, we're looking at the number 1 seed in your estimation in a tougher conference, in the Western Conference. So we're on the best defense in the game, which he has a lot to do with. I'm having a difficult time seeing the Oklahoma City Thunder go to where they are, which then at the end of the season, they may very well be the best defense in the league. One of those guys, him, Lou Dort, are going to be an all-league defender. One of those guys.
No, it's not going to be SGA. SGA is not going to make all defense.
Well, he was knocking on the door last year. That was going on. He was knocking on the door last year. So with that being said, if we got a guy in SGA who's at the top of the Western Conference in terms of record. He's in the top 5 in the league in scoring. He's on the doorstep of being an all-league defender, and they own the best defense, arguably in NBA history.
No, they're not. They're not even the best in modern era, by the way. Just to clear that up, they're not even better than Timberwolves last year.
The numbers say different. But with that being said, with the net rating that they have, I think they got the second best net rating as of today. They got the second best rating of all time. It rivals the '96 Bulls. But with that being said, I'm having a difficult time seeing them keep it away from him. I think it's him, and I think it's Jason Tatum. Your logic,
no, but Tatum, but chill. I'm telling you this right now, and I told you this before the season started. Chill. Do you realize what's happening in the conversation right now among media members? Joker is literally doing something that no one ever thought was possible. And if Joker maintains 32, 13, and 10 on crazy efficiency, and he's literally giving you 56, 16, and 8, 48, 16, and 9, 37, 17, and 12, and he takes them to be a top 4 seed, it's not even going to be a question. He's going to walk away with it.
Yes, it will be.
But no, chill. He's having an unimaginable great season.
That's not true because they already screwed up. They already screwed up in 2017 when they gave the league MVP to Russell Westbrook based on
Russ was never. He wasn't even close.
He wasn't as efficient as him. But what you're bringing up 32. What was it? 12, 32, 12, and 10. Russ did the same thing. And
he didn't. Chill. You gotta stop stat watching. It's not even the same.
You're the one bringing up the numbers, Swiper.
But I'm saying
bringing up the numbers.
They're not comparable.
The only difference is that Joker is more efficient, and they realized that they screwed up doing that. They 100% realized that they screwed up doing that. So because they realized that they screwed up doing that, they're not going to give the league MVP to a guy solely on the fact that he's averaging a triple-double, especially when they got another guy in that same conference who is number 1.
But SGA hasn't even been close to him this year, Chill. So how would you justify that?
How would I justify that? What do you mean? How would I justify?
He hasn't been close to Joker as a player this year. How would you justify that?
Why are you saying that he hasn't been close to him as a player?
He hasn't.
They're the number 1 seed in the Western Conference.
You're bringing up wins. SGA hasn't been in Jokic's tier this year.
That's largely due to SGA. That's
why they have the best defense, to your point, in the NBA.
And that's largely due to
No, it's
SGA.
not. Don't do that.
He has 100% something to do with that.
They have 6 guards that can all get up and defend.
And one of those guys, and both SGA
and he's not top 3. And he's not top 3 in his own roster.
That's not true. That's not true.
Lou Dort's better. Alex Caruso is better. Casey Wallace.
In the limit, Casey Wallace is not a better defender than
on-ball defender. I think he's been a better defender.
I'll give you Alex Caruso as an on-ball defender.
And Lou Dort.
I'll 100% give you that. So
and
we might
Lou Dort.
So, but for the time that's being played, however, we're also talking about a team that's over 60 wins with a guy that's averaging 30 a game. Which a guy that's averaging 30 a game.
He's not averaging 30.
What is he averaging, Swiper? What, 29?
29.5 or something like that.
He's actually averaging 30 a game. He's averaging 30.2. That's what he's averaging.
Hey, what up yesterday?
So with that being said, and Joker's didn't change because he didn't play. He still was averaging that. But that's not the point. The point is for a guy that's been on the best team in the same conference, who's going to win 60-plus games this year, and he's knocking on the door as an all-league defender. Meanwhile, Joker, who is with the numbers that Joker has, which he did the same thing in 2000, I think it was 22.
No,
when he had ridiculous 100%.
That was 27, 14, and 8. That's not the same. You know it's not the same.
On ridiculous efficiency, he averaged a bucket more.
No, but chill. It's not. Joker is literally beating his best season, which is 23, by the way, by leaps and bounds this year. By leaps and bounds. He's that much better this year. And remember, Joker didn't win MVP that year, even as the number 1 seed. That's the year he lost to Embiid.
23. When he lost
because of the narrative stuff and all that other stuff. But chill, I'm telling you right now, if Joker ends up with doing this and carrying, and they win 50-plus games, they might make it unanimous. I would.
And
you're going to be upset. And you're going to be upset about it. But chill, like even when we did the preseason stuff, you said like he was going to finish 5th. And I told you the only way that would happen if Joker falls off, he is at worst going to be in a damn near tie for number 1. Tatum is not even having close to the year he's having. SGA is not having even close to the year he's having. I think he's been number 2.
So we got to change
number three.
So we got to. So if we're doing that, we got to change the MVP to MOP because when we're talking about winning, that's why I think SGA is ahead of Tatum in the MVP vote because I feel like he's affecting winning a little bit more than Jason Tatum. I still think Jason Tatum is a better player than him, but I think he's affecting winning more than Jason Tatum. So if he's affecting winning more than Jason Tatum
hasn't been a better player than the last 2 years, Joe.
Tatum hasn't been a better player
and including in the regular season last year.
Yes, he has, man. I'm not trying to hear that.
You think Tatum was better in the regular season?
I'm sick of that with you, man.
Wait, hold on. You think Tatum was better than SGA last year?
Jason Tatum is a better player than SGA. He is. Yes, he 100% is. Yes, he is.
So now, even he's a better player to this day.
Yes, today he's a better player than SGA. 100% he is. Yes, he is. So, Swiper, I'm way over time. I am not over time. I've been here.
We having fun. This is all this is.
I'm way over time.
Hey, I think Giannis is number 2 in the MVP race right now. Is SGA gonna clear Giannis?
Is SGA gonna clear Giannis? I don't think he's gonna clear him. No, but I do think that he'll be ahead of him. When it matters, Swiper.
But I'm saying if Jokic wins 50 plus games, so what you gonna do? If he wins 50 something games, what you gonna do? Without another All-Star, without Murray being Murray.
You know what 50 plus games, you know what beats 50 plus games? 60 plus wins.
But Tatum had 64 last year and didn't win nothing. Didn't even come close.
And I think that changes with SGA. I think that changes with Jason Tatum.
So your hope is that Joker just
your hope is that
I told you what was going to happen
and that they're going to win 50 games.
I told you what was going to happen.
That's going to happen.
I gave you the blueprint before the year started. I gave you the blueprint.
We'll see. We'll see if that happens. So, Swiper, I'm way over time. I do. I don't know if you're going to be here tomorrow, but I don't know if you're going to be on the show tomorrow. I will be there tomorrow, and we can continue this.
Hey, chat. Vote who won. Vote who won, chat. Vote who won, chat.
All right, brother. I got to bounce. So. It was good to see you guys tonight. Swiper showed up and gave you guys some more entertainment that already was. So I got some super chats here that I have to read. Dubs Bestie says, Chill, you're getting cooked. Dubs Bestie said, Swiper cooked Chill. There you go. I mean, thank you for the super chat, Dubs Bestie. Thank you, my good man. I appreciate you. I'll see you guys soon. You know where to find me at. If I'm not here, I'm on a panel 11 to 2. If I'm not there, I'm on TikTok 9 a.m. every morning. If I'm not there, I'm here weeknights. And if I'm not here, you can find me with my man Big Ox on Saturdays, 12 o'clock, Chill with Chill. So I will see you guys soon. Until then, put on a suit, drink water, don't drink and drive. Hey, man. Call your mother. Well, last time you talked to your mother, I just saw my mother on Monday. So call your mother, man. I will see you guys soon. But until then, take it light. But take it. Absolutely, man. It was good to see you guys. No doubt.
Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages. If you follow basketball, you know Chilltown Hoops.
So this is really good right here.